This cabinet here was in a house fire. It didn't get burned itself. All of this black is the soot from the fire itself. I've worked on the doors so far, and it looks like it's going to, I can get the black off and maybe get this cabinet, back into its original look. This cabinet is not an expensive piece of furniture, but it's was in the family since about the 1940s, and so I think it's worth restoring for some of the girls that might have in the family that might have an interest in it. As you can see, as the smoke came down, billowing down, and the part of this is water too, I think, from the fire hoses. So it caught, and then you can see the bottom here is hardly, didn't sustain any damage at all. So again, I should be able to clean it up pretty easily. A couple of the shelves kind of reminds me of Pompeii, where all of these images were left behind, and you can clearly see where objects were sitting on the shelves. So hopefully we'll get this thing cleaned up, and I'll be able to make another video and see what we can do with it. Here you can clearly see where the soot has stuck to the doors. Here's the glass. You can actually see where the water from the fire ran down the glass. Here's one of the cabinet doors, and that dark layer right there is nothing but soot. And I'm going to use denatured alcohol on a paper towel, and I'm going to clean this off and see how that works. Okay, here's the, see what this does. Oh yeah. Yep, coming right up. So I think we can bring this cabinet right back to life without any problems at all. At this point, I've finished wiping off all of the frames of this door, and you can see it turned out pretty well. I'm using the same process here on the glass, and just ethanol, and see we get that up right there, It's kind of a stubborn spot. A little alcohol on it. Wipes right up that area right there. So the alcohol is working just as well on the soot that's on the glass as it did on the cabinet door. This is a piece from the 1940s, and so I suspected it was finished with shellac, and it turns out it was. And so it's been a lot of elbow grease to get this black soot off, but with really I'm just using a paper towel and wetting it down with denatured alcohol, and it it takes a little work, but it does come off. So then the next once it comes off, the next step really is it actually, the old shellac kind of has it can have like a streak of light color that goes into that comes out of the wood, and that's just old shellac. And so if you will take your paper towel, once it's wetted down with the alcohol, and I continue to wet my rag down, fold it up into quarters, and with a little like a drop of baby oil on it, then you can come back and finish it off like this. So, you know, this is actually better than it was before the fire, because this is a cheap piece of furniture, but it is a family heirloom. This ply right here was old, and the shellac was old, and you know, dust over the 70 or something years, 80 years that it was in existence. And so it actually looks better now with that, a little of the oil, and this is just baby oil, like a drop of baby oil on the paper towel with a lot of denatured alcohol on that, and just rub this in, and that just kind of rubs, evens out the old shellac. And you know, you might have to, on a couple of pieces, I actually had to come back in with a few drops of shellac on the alcohol and the baby oil and rub that in to get a nice, you know, to give it a nice smooth finish. So I got some work to go, you know, left to do on this, but it's coming along actually pretty well. And I actually think that, you might not be able to tell, it is starting to, some of these areas right here, I think may still, you know, have a little of the soot in there. And I think I'm okay with that, because if it stays in the family, then, you know, that's part of the story of this cabinet, that it was purchased in the 40s. I guess when my wife's parents bought it, and they actually still had the sales receipt on it. And now, being all those years in the family and has gone through a fire, so the dark spots of the fire actually kind of add to the story. So if you have a piece that you need to reclaim from a fire that hasn't been burned but has the soot, alcohol is probably the way to go. And maybe if it's a lacquer finish, maybe a lacquer thinner would be the way to go to get this black soot off. This is some of the brown spots or light colored spots I was talking about earlier that will come up. I think that's the old varnish. And if you, you know, when you come back a final time and give this like a final wash down with the alcohol and the baby oil together, that light spot right there comes right out. This area right here had a lot of that, and so just thought I'd point out. Oh, the other thing is, I'm using a paper towel, as I've said, and some may think that, well, what if I just sprayed the denatured alcohol on this and then rubbed it down? I've done that a time or two, and it kind of gums things up just a little, and it didn't speed up the process of removing this black. And so I just take a half of a paper towel, fold it up into as small of squares as I can, and then wet that down. And after, as soon as you get the soot on it, if you continue on, it just rubs the soot in. So I turn it over, wet it down with alcohol, take up some more soot, and continue to do that until the whole rag is, you know, nothing but soot on it. In fact, I can show you here. These are the rags I've used here today, and every one of them. So you can kind of see the little quarter sections that I folded the rag into, and you wipe up just a little soot and turn it over, turn the rag over, wipe up a little more, and you just continue on, and eventually it will take it all up. I'm not wearing any gloves, and I suggest that if you try this, that you do wear gloves, because this black soot gets all over everything. So with a few rubs with this denatured alcohol, this below this soot is shellac, And I think the alcohol is mixing with the shellac and taking this black right off. Although I have seen, I used alcohol to take the soot off on the glass for the doors, and it also took the soot right off. So alcohol and this soot seems to work really well. I wanted to show the doors. I don't know if this is damage from the water from the fire. This is the doors from the same cabinet I've been working on, or if this is just age, or just whatever this might be. So I'm still using the alcohol on this and trying to wipe it up, and it's difficult to get down to those little spots. But there was a spot right in here, and I just took my alcohol to get down below that veneer, that shellac, get down below that bottom layer, if you, maybe, and see if I could get it to come up. And it does seem to be coming up. You just have to get fairly low down onto the shellac. So you can see there that those spots came up. So I'm going to continue on with this then, and so this is one of the doors from this cabinet, and I think that this got a lot of water splash from when they were trying to put out the fire. Water tends to sometimes have a negative reaction on shellac. And so on this one, I'm going to spray this down pretty heavily with denatured alcohol, and then scrape this off, because that staining there is pretty deep, and I will have to come back with probably get it down to like the very bottom layer of shellac, and then start back with additional layers of shellac on top of the original, and hopefully it'll blend in and we'll get a good result. Okay, so there's some of the old shellac that came off, along with, I guess, probably some soot. But here's the first quadrant. It didn't take me too long to do this, and it's probably at the final stage, but I still have 3 quadrants to go, and then I should be finished with this door. All right, she's all finished. So I think it turned out pretty well. I still can smell a little smoke in the cabinet, but as far as getting all of the soot off and everything, I think it turned out pretty well. That burl front is probably the most expensive part of the piece. And I really get an odor of that smoke once I open the door. So I probably just need to let it breathe a little. I used, on that back, I used boiled linseed oil. And on some of these surfaces that were, I don't think they were ever shellacked, like the inside of this cabinet. And these shelves, I think, were shellacked, but I just used the boiled linseed oil, and I think that eventually I'll leave these doors open, and I should be able to get rid of that odor before too much longer. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this this video, and if you ever run into a problem with some furniture that you think is going to be ruined in a fire, because of the smoke, you might have a second thought. Thanks for watching the video. I hope I was able to provide you with some information that you might be able to use. I don't produce many of these videos on my channel, but I would appreciate it if you guys watching would subscribe to the channel. It's my understanding that you need somewhere around 1,000 subscribers to get any kind of revenue off the channel, and I think at this point I probably need about 999 more. So if you got the time, go ahead and subscribe, and from time to time I might put out some more videos. But thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.